What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter. And a lot of people always ask me about shit that's going on in the street. They know I'm a drill historian. I'm an expert in the drill culture. And telling on dead people has been taking over the internet. You know, a lot of people consider telling on dead people. That's not the right thing to do. I don't give a fuck how I feel. If you cooperating with the police, if you sitting down with a detective, you writing down, you telling them things, you comforting them and they comforting you, and you accepting it, then you eating the cheese. Some people feel like, hey, if I died and you saying I did some shit can help you go home to your family, continue being a father, growing, you know, learning from your mistakes and shit, go ahead, I volunteer. You know, it's been a lot of talk about that. We're going to kind of take some of this to the board, especially a certain situation we're going to take to the board, because people putting Lil Durk in this. And, you know, they want me to stamp that Truth Durk told on KingVon, didn't. And I tell people, regardless of how much some shit might seem like it's real, if I don't got the evidence, I can't stamp you like that. In this culture, you got certain jackets. You got like a summer jacket, a hoodie, and then you got that jacket. You feel me? Saying somebody snitching on somebody, that's a big ass jacket. That's like one of them first down jackets, a puff coat. I ain't gonna put that jacket on nobody without the evidence. But I understand T.I. recently. T.I. he said he snitched on his cousin to get out of a case. His cousin died. And he said he talked to him while he was dead. And he said, shit, I volunteer. You can do what you gotta do to get home, you know. Ain't like they can expedite me from the grave. So T.I. tells a story on telling on his family member named Two. Okay? We see that. That's kind of taking over the internet. A lot of people consider T.I., you know, a big time hip hop star. Some people consider him eating the cheese, you know. It was stories of him telling later on he got caught in like a weapons conspiracy. He ended up getting caught with a whole bunch of army guns, assault rifles and shit. Only did a little bit of time, came home. A lot of people said, you know, that T.I. might have snitched. But he tells a story that before this happened. So a lot of people looked at that weird. We also know about Terrence. You know, I believe that's Birdman brother. He tells a story of snitching on, you know, a lot of his homies who died in order to get out of jail. So with these two stories kind of taking over the internet, you know, big time street people who respected in the street, is being accused of telling. Is Lil Durk telling? Is this the same situation with Lil Durk? Because it feels the same. KingVon did. He not here. How the police know he had something to do with shooting somebody? They let Durk go free. I thought they had evidence. Is Durk eating the cheese? You know, I looked at this case several times. I looked at this case when it happened. I looked at it when it was trending. Hell, I actually got on the airplane and went to this crime scene to feel the temperament and get more of an understanding of it. Remember, I'm a drill historian. We got to get to the truth. And in my opinion, I think all the snitching rumors about Lil Durk is just rumors. And I say that all the time. Now, if I had more evidence, I'd tell you the truth that I feel like, hey, there's something a little freaky about this case. But in my opinion, I don't think Durk told. Now, it's just my opinion. I ain't shit but a blogger. You know, according to the police, this case happened February 5th. A couple years ago. I'm not sure the year, but this was a couple years ago, okay? A couple years ago, this happened. On February 5th at 5 a.m. in the morning, okay? This is 5 a.m. in the morning a couple years ago. According to the police, the guy who was shot and robbed allegedly, he knew them. You know, he knew them. He hung with them the whole day. He actually cooperated with the police in the beginning. He told the police that he was with them, he was chilling with them, partying with them, and then they just turned on him. That's code word for the back door open. You know, the niggas hang with you, kick it with you, and then be on some bullshit. That's what he's claiming, allegedly. It was a witness that was by a cigar shop next to Varsity, which is like the restaurant, the hangout spot that people be at in Atlanta. Durkner was like in the back in like a little area where people, I guess, park and shit. It was in the back. It's a guy who was in a cigar lounge. Now you gotta remember, 5 o'clock in the morning, this Atlanta. 5 o'clock is like 10 o'clock at night in Chicago. They party all night in Atlanta. So it's a guy said he seen a fight. Okay? He said he seen a fight. Okay? A fight. Next thing you know, it was a shooting. Okay? Now this is by a key witness. The police arrested Durk, arrested Von. You got Bezu on this case. You got hella bands on this case. According to the paperwork. Now this way, get in the paperwork. The guy who was robbed, last name is Weatherspoon. Okay? Weatherspoon claims he was robbed for $30K in cash. Okay? An expensive chain. And he said he was targeted because he had a nice car. Okay? This is what he claimed. Alright? Here go my issue with this. Lil Durk is rich. So I don't think Lil Durk needs $30,000. I don't think Lil Durk needs a chain. I don't think Lil Durk give a fuck about his cars. I don't think Lil Durk gonna be in no fight. Okay? So that leads me to believe that this is one of those things where some shit happened and Durk was in the vicinity, maybe of his people, and like he said in the song, they say I'm responsible for whatever my friends do. Now they say that shit gonna fall on me, whatever my friends do. And that's the honest truth. The same kind of shit with Blueface. When it's a celebrity, the police hype it up. Something that's a regular push would be an assault with a deadly elbow. I think this is one of those things. I don't see Durk involved in any of this. The paperwork claimed that they seen Durk shooting a gun. Here go the thing. The police claimed that the witness, Weatherspoon, shot too. So the dude had a gun on him. Okay? He had a gun too. They claimed that he might have shot first. This is in the paperwork. Okay? To try to get the warrants and shit like that. Lil Durk was not seen on the street shooting no gun. He was not seen walking shooting a gun. He was not seen in the physical shooting a gun. His face was not put on the body with a gun that was shot. Only time they claimed that Durk shot a gun was inside of a Jeep that was camouflage. So they seen shots coming out of a camouflage Jeep that had several people in it, and they say Durk shot the gun. That's what's in the paperwork, okay? So they claimed they seen Durk arm out a gun. Not face. They didn't see his face. They didn't see his body. They claim they seen the arm that was shooting a gun. Now remember, Durk got Zoo with him. He got hella bands. Okay? He got KingVon. These are 3 of the streetest niggas who don't play no games in the streets. What the fuck is Durk finna be doing fighting when he got them niggas with him? What the fuck Durk finna be doing? Fighting somebody, taking a chain, $30K month. I can't see that. I can see Durk just kept his mouth closed and got involved in some shit. He the millionaire dude, rich as hell. He got the bed and he couldn't control the people around him, in my opinion. People around him was on some street shit finna take a motherfucker down, allegedly, in my opinion. Allegedly, finna take a motherfucker down, get their ass, take this shit. And, Durk couldn't stop that situation. I don't know if he wanted to stop the situation, but in my opinion, I believe it was the people around Durk. And of course, he gonna get charged with whatever his friends do. So I believe he was charged. Okay? But I don't believe Durk ever did anything like that, and I think that played a part in why his case got dropped. Because think about this. Hella Bands eventually was killed. KingVon was eventually killed. Bezu, real close friends with Lil Durk, so he ain't finna cooperate against him. And then you got Lil Durk, which is a millionaire and can get the best lawyers in the game, which equals no one's gonna cooperate. It's gonna be hard for this. You got the dude Weatherspoon who cooperated in the beginning, but as time went, he stopped cooperating. The optics, the visualization don't look right with you working with the police, wanting to be a rapper in the streets. People know who he is. So eventually he stopped cooperating. So with no cooperation from the witness, KingVon is not here no more. Bezu not here no more. KingVon not here no more. Hella Bands not here no more. Bezu real close friends with Durk. He not telling Durk a millionaire. Got the best lawyer in the world. The witness not cooperating no more. This case is in shambles, in my opinion. The DA, Fannie Willis, she put out a press release and said, even though she believed it was probable cause to arrest the defendant, it's at their discretion right now that they're not going to go along with the charges or pursue charges in this case. They said they believe that KingVon could have been a shooter, would have been a shooter. They didn't say they know for a fact KingVon was a shooter. This was some hunch shit. Okay, a lot of people took the hunch and put it as they said KingVon was a shooter. They said they got probable cause to believe that Von was the shooter. They say, but at this time we're not going to pursue charges. In my opinion, we're not going to pursue charges. It's code word for we don't have no evidence. We don't have no way to pursue this case. This shit been going on for 3 years. If this was Durk telling, he had 2 years to do this. It didn't have to take right now. It took 3 years for this case because it was in shambles and they wanted to get Durk. You telling me they didn't want to get Durk? You telling me they just let him off the hook? He can say, hey, Von did this and then they let him off the hook for everything else. Oh, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, Durk. We just, let's be honest with ourselves with this. I just think this case is in shambles. Now remember, I'm just a street reporter. I can be wrong. Because I'm not going to lie. There's something about this that does look a little funny. But until you can come up with more evidence, I have to roll with the fact that I believe this case was in shambles. And it was no way they were going to be able to get a conviction on that case. It was no way they was going to get a conviction. Durk, a multi-millionaire, he got one of the best lawyers in the world. Von's not going to turn because he's not here anymore. Not saying he was going to do that anyway. Hella Bands was shot and killed. Bezu, real close friends with Durk, he not finna tell. The witness is not cooperating anymore. Like, what's going on? In my opinion, I believe that's why it took 3 years. Durk lawyer even said that he believes this case was in shambles and it was just bullshit because the only evidence that they had, according to the paperwork and his lawyers, was they claimed that shots came out of a Jeep that was camouflaged. But they didn't know who the fuck was inside the Jeep doing anything. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter. I want to bring this news to you. Now don't beat me up saying truth. You know doggone well he told. He might have did. I get any more new information about him telling, I'm coming right back to the board and we're going to break it down. Until then, I got to go with that. I appreciate the love. It's the homie Truth.